All right, chat. So I think I have a thing to talk about before we go any further with more grinding and all that. I'd say I had a thing I thought about. Also, sorry, I'm messing with my hair. I'm super sweaty. I did have a thing I thought we should talk about that just came to me as we were sitting here. And this is a question I feel like I really do need to ask to the chat. And we can go ahead and extrapolate from there. So let me ask all of you. We've had all kinds of different Fate universe games. We have had, of course, Fate Extra and CCC, which are, rock, paper, scissors, quote unquote, your RPGs, loosely, is what you would want to call them. We have had, of course, Fate Unlimited Codes, which is a Fate fighting game. More of a Soul Calibur style fighting game. We have had Fate Grand Order, of course, which is another turn-based RPG. We have had Fate Extella and Fate Extella Link, which are Musou games. Hack and slash, Dynasty Warriors style. So I guess the question I need to ask to the chat that's going to help me extrapolate this and come to a conclusion, because I've got a couple ideas, but I need to see your ideas too, is what type of game would you like to see featuring the Fate franchise heavily next? I know genres are starting to blur as games continue to evolve, and we kind of basically don't know what anything is anymore, but if we had to go standard, what kind of game would you like to see that uses the Fate universe as a dressing? Like an RTS game or maybe a strategy RPG, with Darth Decisive coming right in with an isometric tactics style game. So we're talking Final Fantasy Tactics, we're talking Disgaea, we're talking Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. We're talking that new Untitled Square Enix project that has the really stupid name. We're talking that Final Fantasy Tactics spiritual successor Kickstarter that I stupidly backed and am never getting the money back for that. So as far as an isometric tactics game goes, that would definitely be a really, really neat idea. And I think that would be a neat idea if implemented, say, servants as frontline fighters, and you actually having to actively protect the master or masters in the back. I'd want to see a game with a lot of focus on maneuverability and spacing. Almost kind of like a puzzle-ish game, I guess. Trying to move servants to different areas, move servants out of the way, rework stuff. FGO tower defense, maybe even. Because we have to keep that whole Masters Are Fragile thing going. That's kind of part of what gives you the guts of a true Holy Grail war. That whole Masters Are Fragile thing. So if we had some sort of strategy RPG where you went into these different encounters, protecting your master was part of the priority, but there were also secondary objectives you had to fulfill. Save X Master, save Y Master. X Servant is hurting. If you're able to get Master over to X Servant and supply them with mana, form a contract with them, this Servant will join your team and also be super powered for this fight. Stuff like that. Set it up like Defender Quest. Yeah, that's a great idea for an FGO tower defense. But something like that in the vein of a strategy RPG where spacing is very, very important. And battlefield awareness being important, and ambushes actually being, oh my god, I might actually die if I don't adapt to this ambush very, very quickly. I think that would be super neat. So, isometric tactics game is a very, very good pick. Classic JRPG a la Final Fantasy from Red Eye Senpai. And we've, of course, got Maltrab backing this up as well. Yes, I do think that would be an excellent idea. I mainly think that would be an excellent idea because we've already got kind of a little bit of a template in there in Fate Extra. Fate Extra sort of gave us the beginnings of that dressing. It didn't really extrapolate on it, because, let's be real, the original Fate Extra's battle system is not very good. It really, really is just the bare minimum basic for a battle system. There's not really a lot of thought that has to go into it. But if we had a true JRPG where you were learning skills throughout, and I don't know if we'd like for a classic JRPG, if we're talking just characters in a line, other characters in a line fighting like that, I have, and I'm sure everyone following me on Twitter will be upset that I can't shut up about this. I've been playing a lot of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, and if we had a game like that where it was classic turn-based JRPG, but again, maneuverability and spacing and battlefield occupancy and manipulating the turn order was a factor, I think that could be an absolutely amazing experience. So I do think JRPG would be a very, very good call because we do have a bit of the dressing for it, but maybe tweak it a little bit. There's some ideas we can leave in the past, and there's some ideas we can expand on and bring to the forefront. I'm seeing a lot of FGO fighting game. Please, for the love of God, give me this. Give me this. Give me this. I would love a Fate fighting game. I think Unlimited Codes was good. I do think Unlimited Codes was good. However, it was a little bit janky, mainly because of the console. I feel like we do have the potential. If we're talking about someone who'd be willing to create a quality product for the boatloads of money that Type Moon would be willing to throw into this project, some of you may agree, some of you disagree. I'm just going to go ahead and bounce this off the chat. But Arc System Works. Arc System Works has got the anime fighter formula down pat. Guilty Gear Xrd was like their initial test, but Dragon Ball FighterZ nailed it. It absolutely nailed the look, the feel. It is a game that is clearly a labor of love. They actually went and looked in the source material and addressed that. Every single move in Dragon Ball FighterZ is from a panel of the manga. It straight up is. There's like hours-long videos you can watch on YouTube of people breaking it down, being like, here's this character's move, it's from this panel. Here's this character's move, it's from this panel. This is where all that stuff comes from. To be able to give that attention to detail to the Fate franchise, I feel like that would be the best way to give the fans exactly what they want. Because let's be real, us Fate fans are kind of sticklers to detail in a way. But more than that, they could also give us a fighting game that could not only be true, but it could be fun, and it could have that depth that attracts other people who maybe have no idea what the heck the Fate franchise is to playing that. Dragon Ball FighterZ did the same thing. There are people that have never watched Dragon Ball at all that ended up getting super into the Dragon Ball universe specifically because of that game, because it was a damn good game. And on top of that, provide potential for sweet, sweet crossover. You couldn't just do a regular Grail War with it. You couldn't. You'd have to include so many different kinds of characters, and with so many different kinds of classes, and how characters are represented in those classes, there's so many playstyles you can do. There's the classic Rushdown character you could do, just going in there, getting in your enemy's face. There's, of course, the Grappler, like you all always watch me play in Guilty Gear Strive. Just have that character get in there, lift, slam. Lift, slam. It could be Heracles. I think that's fine. Make Heracles Grappler and I'll play him 100%. Your zoners, like your Robin Hoods and your Billy the Kids, fight from afar. If your enemy gets close, knock them away, and then keep shooting them from a distance. There's potential to fill all of those archetypes. Plus, Type Moon's already done it with a fighting game. Look at Melty Blood. Melty Blood's an incredible fighting game. There's no reason they couldn't do exactly the same thing for Fate.